She was considered the ideal American wife, so much so that even the Vatican gave her a seat close to the Pope. But behind the graceful image of Rose Kennedy lay the untold story of a woman who endured sacrifice, heartbreak, and silent struggle. She gave up her identity for her husband, burying every piece of her own life quietly, even if it meant dying inside. She was the woman the Kennedys proudly displayed to the world, while secretly keeping her in the shadows. Today, we uncover the truths history tried to erase. The story of a woman who was the soul of America's most powerful political dynasty, yet remained hidden behind its shining legacy. Rose Fitzgerald was born in 1890 in Boston. She was the daughter of John "Honey" Fitzgerald, a well-known and respected mayor of Boston. At the age of 24, she married Joseph P. Kennedy. By 1914, Rose was seen as brilliant, ambitious, and incredibly insightful, deeply committed to family values, Catholic faith, and a strong moral code. Their marriage was portrayed as the perfect Catholic fairy tale, but behind the grand walls of the Brookline mansion lived a very different reality, one of emotional pain and silent heartbreak. Joseph Kennedy reduced Rose to a symbolic wife. His real interests lay elsewhere, often indulging in personal desires and scandalous affairs. Most infamously with actress Gloria Swanson, their relationship crossed all boundaries, threatening the very fabric of the family. Gloria Swanson once said, "Either she's as holy as Jesus, or a better actress than I am." Just 8 months into her marriage, Rose had begun to understand the depth of her sorrow. She even confided in her father, but what she received in return was silence. And in that silence, Rose found the role she would play for the rest of her life. She endured, she held the family together, and she became the quiet force behind one of the most iconic families in American history. Though Rose Kennedy was seen as a woman of silent grace and patience, the next chapter of her life was marked by deep tragedies that tested her faith, endurance, and maternal strength like never before. One of the most painful episodes was the decline of her daughter, Rosemary Kennedy. As Rosemary's behavior became more erratic, the family turned to the best medical experts of the time. But when traditional treatments failed, Joseph Kennedy Sr. made a fateful decision, without Rose's consent, to have their daughter undergo a lobotomy. The procedure, meant to calm Rosemary, left her permanently disabled both mentally and physically. Rose was not informed until after it was done, and the wound of that betrayal stayed with her for the rest of her life. During this time, Rose fully leaned into her Catholic faith, becoming the spiritual anchor for her children. Each night, she prayed for them, especially for John F. Kennedy, in whom she saw the spark of a future president. But with triumphs came unbearable loss. When JFK was assassinated in 1963, the world mourned, and so did Rose, but in her own quiet, dignified way. No tears in public, just words that reflected the weight of her sorrow. Politics is a noble calling, but it demands a cruel price. Her son Robert F. Kennedy followed in John's footsteps, only to meet the same tragic fate 5 years later. And then came the scandal involving Ted Kennedy and Chappaquiddick, which cast another dark shadow over the family. Despite it all, Rose remained the unwavering matriarch. In her later years, she was confined to a wheelchair, but her grace never faded. Her presence still commanded respect, and her legacy was one of strength, silence, and spiritual resilience. Rose Kennedy passed away in 1995 at the age of 105, remembered not just as the mother of presidents, but as the quiet force behind one of America's most powerful families.